Hi, Danny Doyle here. You know the drill. We are back with more Fire Emblem 1 0% growth. It's Chapter 5 time. We do not have Mathis because I mercilessly slaughtered him last chapter. And other than that, we do have Merrick, and we're going to get to see some Merrick gaming. As I mentioned previously, I was under the false assumption that I would need Excalibur more than I did, so I ended up using Freeze a lot more than I probably should have. We got 5 new units, one of them matters. You might, if you have played the remake, think that the unit that matters is either Sigurd or Wolf, but fuck those guys. They are horrible in the non-remakes. They're good in the remakes because they have growth rates and reclass options and all that fun stuff, but here they're just Horsemen, and Horseman is treated as if it is an unpromoted class that can't promote. Hunters do not promote into Horsemen. Sorry, Kashin, you're never getting a horse. They might be useful in later chapters for shooting down wyverns, because that's always a task that needs to be done, but the main, good unit who I am so thankful to have is Hardin, one of the 3 cavaliers over there. The one with the sort of turban. He is... So we get given a silver sword and immediately fly Sheeta over there to hand it to him because he is so fucking good. His stats are, I would say, one of the best base stats of the units all around. And he is absolutely the cav I'm going to be training into Paladin because oftentimes, even before he promotes, I will be defaulting to him over Jagan. Jagan has the move advantage, so on some maps or for some specific tasks, Jagan is going to be my go-to, but Hardin just, he has the stats that matter. The reason that, or you might be familiar from the remakes, with being handed a silver sword for him that he cannot use in the remakes, it's because, again, of the pesky weapon level system. He can use it in this one, though, so I immediately hand it to him, and he's going to be getting as much experience as he can, because I want him to get to level 10, and doing the majority of the combat on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, we get to see Merrick using Freeze. I don't like how inaccurate it is. It's something like 80%, it looks like, based on the meter bar. FE1 does not give you numbers, it gives you meter bars. When I was playing this, I had a spreadsheet pulled up that let me check weapon stats, but, providing the post commentary, I don't have that because I'm not professional. Advancing forward, we do see a bishop up top. That's what the scary looking, they're called bishops, but they look like dark cultist things. That's actually Wendell. That is Merrick's tutor, and we are going to recruit him. He can use tomes or staves. He can't use Excalibur, so Merrick does still have a place on our team. Normally, you think of, in the remakes, and I'm comparing things to the remakes a lot because I imagine that most people's experience is not FE1, it's Shadow Dragon. Or, if you're old school, FE3 Book 1, some people might have experienced that, but FE1 is very archaic and very... I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people haven't played it. But in the remakes, you just sort of hand Excalibur over to Wendell and then have fun on the bench, Merrick. But here, that's not the case. If I want to Excalibur, I need to use Merrick. And... No, we mentioned bowguns in Chapter 1. A mechanic that does not work the same way it does in Radiant Dawn. However, staves do work the same way they do in Radiant Dawn. If a bishop such as Wendell uses a staff, they will have that staff equipped for enemy phase. And remember, because of the way trading works, I can't trade a tome to the top of his inventory. So there is a weird amount of value in not being able to use staves. Or, I wouldn't necessarily say value in not being able to use staves, but as the game goes on, I start more and more just using the promoted bishops as if they can only use staves instead of use staves and tomes, which is, I don't know, it's not actually a point against them, but it's something that feels like a point against them. I don't know, it's a negative unit feel. It makes, to use a bopper term, it makes Merrick feel better than Wendell, even though functionally, you know, Wendell can do more than Merrick. Meanwhile, yeah, we've just cleared the right-hand side of the map, and we're sending Marth north because, hey, there's a village. You know, it's just sort of the story of FE1. Marth has to take a weird route across things. Hardin is holding his own on the left-hand side of the map. I honestly don't care if Roche or Baraku die. They are kind of just meh. So, you know, that's, it's basically, Hardin's job is to keep himself alive, and I would like the horsemen to survive as well, because as I mentioned, shooting down wyverns is a task that always needs to be done, and the more bow users, the better. But, I'm not super picky. We are going to advance into Armor Knight country now, though, because, there's, you know, 2 generals on the castle, and there's one who's going to come and attack Navarre as well. We're slowly making our advance because in a previous attempt I sort of rushed forward and it turns out Navarre was dead. He died. I believe there are ambush spawn reinforcements, if not this turn, maybe next turn? There's some, or no, they're not ambush spawns, they're just, it feels like ambush spawns because they were off screen and I didn't scroll over and check. The Cavaliers over there, they cover a lot of range, so in terms of like advancing over into the upper left-hand side of the map, like, we want to be careful or else we're going to get hit by 3 or 4 units at the same time. This map does also feature the first of many double castles, which are a unique feature to FE1. You can seize either side of a double castle, and there is oftentimes a boss on one side and a non-boss on the other side. This is something that ends up being very funny in a couple of instances involving not having to kill the boss if one of the units who's non-boss has aggressive AI and moves off the throne or something. I don't actually know if that ever happens. There's some weird stuff though with the double thrones. Like you can just not kill the boss, and despite the fact that it's a siege map and it's all good, hunky dory. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say other than like Hardin is phenomenal. He is the reason. Well, he's one of multiple the reasons this run works. His stats are just like, even with inaccurate paladins, inaccurate javelins, I cannot talk today, and like weak weapons like iron and whatnot, he's doing heavy work. Granted, this is chapter 5, but he'll continue to do work because he can use silver swords pre-promotion, and like once he promotes, he's just going to objectively be better than Jagan. He actually has some stats that I believe are above paladin bases, so he would be better than either of our other paladins at promoting as well. Plus, it's just easier to get him, you know, higher. Oh yeah, this is the map I was talking about, where if you wanted to, you could just not kill either of them and like have Marth seize because that Armor Knight has aggressive AI. It's quite amusing. He just walked off. Like, I imagine if there is a glitchless speedrun or glitchless LTC or whatever, I imagine part of it is just baiting that Armor Knight into moving off and not having to engage with the boss. I haven't really looked into that, but it's amusing to me that the game is so weird and so, again, held together like duct tape, held together with duct tape. I fucking love this horrible, horrible game. I think everyone might unironically be one of the games that I enjoy most in the series, and that's not because I don't like the other games, but that's because there's so much charm in the stupid bits. It's very funny. That said, we did get a door key from that Armor Knight. The reason they gave us that door key is in case you don't have Ricardo, they want you to still be able to open the cell that in case you didn't get Julian, they want you to open the cell that Ricardo is in. They are functionally the same unit. I'll get them mixed up. I'll probably just refer to them as a thief. Whichever thief has better inventory spaces and whatnot. Now here I did want to kill the Armor Knight because I thought Hardin could benefit from some boss experience. But there's no reason not to take advantage of the empty gate. So let's just equip an Armor Slayer and throw him on there. Hold on a moment. There we go. Okay. Watch the battle, watch the battle, watch the battle. Ba-boom! One rounding the boss. I mean, granted, he had an effective weapon, but just, it's so good. Additionally, he drops a Silver Lance, which money's not a huge issue, but it is going to be a while before we can buy additional Silver Lances, so it's nice to have. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm just throwing away Silver Lances in order to free up inventory slots, but for the early game, it's nice to have 2 Silver Lances, because then I can, have one on Jake and one on Hardin. Or one on... I actually don't know... Oh, Sheeta. One on Sheeta, potentially, as well. Like, I can have Hardin with the Silver Sword, Jagan with the Silver Lance, Sheeta with the Silver Lance, or something like that. It's nice to have those options. And a little bit more experience, because... why not? Like, let's just feed everything to Hardin. Let's do it. That's basically the map. We've got about another minute left in the video where Martha's going to go ahead and seize... Oh, I got the fire zone for Bantu too, by the way. That's what was in that village. There's very funny village dialogue in that particular village, but I didn't really, I mean, it's on 2x speed because it's FE1, so I don't know if you were able to read it. I am playing out all of the dialogue because the bad translation is actually the good translation in my opinion. Like, I love this stupid little thing. But, yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more inventory management because, don't worry, there's a lot of it coming up. Also, shoutouts to the shopkeeper and storage man sprites. I love the little NPC sprites. I'm not a huge fan of the magic shop sprite lady. Alright, that's me making a save state because I wasn't sure if I needed to rearrange my inventory for the next chapter. It's going to happen a lot.